I was driving in my car on 41. I was actually in San Carlos. So it had been about a month since I'd been released from the hospital. I was taking Coumadin, and they said I had to go see a specialist. So I was on my way, and I just felt really uninformed at the time. So I called ahead and I just said, hey, I have an appointment in a little bit, and I'm just really nervous. I just really would love to know just what to expect. I know you can't tell me anything specifically, but I would just love to know what to expect today. And it just kind of brushed me off. Like, oh, when you get here, your doctor or your physician will speak with you. I said, no, I understand. I know that, but can you just tell me just what potentially might happen when I come in, or I'm an informed person, right? I read studies. I make it a point to educate myself and learn. I don't like being in the dark. No one's gonna take better care of me than me, period. We said this already, right? I asked one more time, she kind of blew me off again. And who knows, maybe she was having a bad day. And I remember I was in my burgundy Dodge Ram 1500, and it started raining. I had the wipers going, and I just was quiet. I'm listening to her, be quiet. And I hung up the phone, and I flipped the U-turn, and I went back home. And I never went back to the doctor, and I never took my Coumadin again. I decided at that point that no one was going to put the energy into me that I was. I thought I had been doing everything right. Paleo, strict paleo, no dairy, right? Fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, lean meats. I trained, like I said, about 2 to 3 hours a day, sometimes twice a day. I was consuming about 5,000 calories, tons of carbs. I felt amazing in performance-wise. I was stronger than I'd ever been. I was in better shape then than when I was being paid to fly around the world to play basketball and basically hurt other grown men so they didn't want to play against me, in a nice way. So I just felt like at this time I had to dive into this for myself, and that's when I took this whole journey on. And it started honestly like as an experiment. A couple of my friends were already doing it, and I was like, man, they're not dead, so I might as well try it. I've heard about it for a long time. These guys are pretty strong. So I just kind of dove into it. I started reading books, started listening to podcasts. I heard David Carter speak. I found the Rich Roll podcast. I started listening. I started seeing people that looked like me, that walked like me, that talked like me, or were performing like I wanted to, doing it in the lifestyle, and I took it on. And long story short, here I am today, still not eating meat and not protein deficient.
Well, she's a friend of mine. I'm expecting. I just don't know when she's coming.
So,
enjoy now.
I'll give her that one.
So, breaking some myths, I kind of wanted to speak about this. These are just a few things. If you guys are taking notes, these are some great things to just even mental notes. Since these are some common questions, I just wanted to go through some of these. So the first one is the time needed in the gym. I think that there's a massive disconnect between what you can do or what you should do for you versus what you have to do. You don't have to do a damn thing, right? You don't have to do resistance training with bands or with barbells or with dumbbells, but what you need to do is move, right? So it honestly doesn't matter. I've seen people do it on 7 minutes a day. I've seen people do it on 40 minutes a day. I've seen, again, the level that I was performing on 2 to 3 hours a day, but that's because you're competing at a high level, right? So if you're just competing to be better than yourself, what are you doing now? And how could we increase that, right? How much protein do you need? So there are a lot of different things on this. The biggest thing I would say is go do your research. So science has proven you only need 0.8 grams of protein per kilo. Basically breaks down to like half your body weight in grams of protein. So to give an example, again, I'm gonna suggest that you guys go do your own reading. I'm gonna suggest that you guys find some of these resources, or just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up through the podcast, whatever. Like, ask questions and mention me in the plantbased.diet.org on the Facebook, whatever. When I came back from being injured, it was actually literally 16 months later, I got blood labs and they were like, we have no excuse for what's happened, but you've made a complete 180. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, so I can work out? And they were like, yep. Literally, called my coach, dove right in. Over the next few weeks, after after not being able to exercise for pretty much 14 and a half months, I was doing some very minimal stuff with my lower body and just basic stabilization. I PR'd, so I set a personal record in every single lift. Everything except cardio exercises. I set a lifetime PR personal record for strict pull-ups, a lifetime PR for kipping pull-ups, a lifetime PR for back squat, deadlift, you name it. I could build up to over a 500-pound back squat in less than 3 minutes. I could back squat almost 450 pounds. I could walk on my hands 82 feet. At 6'8", 240 pounds, only having plants and, ding ding, less than 100 grams of protein a day. How is this possible? Number one, you only need 0.8 grams of protein per kilo, right? Second, your body actually doesn't know protein, fats, and carbs. I'm very sorry to disappoint you. What it does know are calories. What it does recognize is expenditure. So, as long as you're taking in calories, your body's gonna perform. I suggest most of them are leafy green vegetables, healthy fats to stimulate your brain. But unless you're really worried about a certain physique, a certain type of physique, really reducing body fat, you can perform, be strong, and live long without worrying about any of that, right? So I just kind of wanted to just drop that in there. And then again, we touched on this one. What's the best exercise for me? The one that you can stick to. I coach people online. We make programs for just about anything. Some of it's only body weight. Some of it's 7 minutes a day of workouts, and we just check in and have a talk so we can make sure that you're adjusting. Some of you travel way too much to worry about that. You just need some bands that you can travel with. A lot of times, I just got back from LA, just throw some bands, strap them to my bag. In your hotel room, you can just bang out like 20 of this, 30 of that, 40 of this, walk down the hall, walk back in, and do that for 10 minutes, right? And this is the last one, and then I'll open it up to some general questions if we have them. We have about 9 more minutes, and I try to make sure that I leave some of that open. And I think we have another mic, potentially, if we can come to you. So, can you be strong on a whole food, plant-based diet? 100%. I can't stress that enough. Strong is different for everyone, right? Some of you want to be able to lift 200 pounds or 100 pounds over your head. Some of you just want to be able to do a plank for 2 minutes. Some of you just need to develop your midline so you can so you can relieve back pain and some other things that come from a weaker midline, right? It's different for everybody. The hardest part about making change, I think, is this conversation that we're having. I've dropped things that are just, I had to learn the hard way. I really worked hard to put this stuff into a presentation because I know that visually it'll be a little more captivating. These are some of the most important things, number one, that I teach my clients, and number two, that I had to learn over years. Because in 2013 and 14, there was not very much information out there, as well as you couldn't find like Gardein and Impossible Burgers and Beyond Burgers and festivals like this in abundance. The biggest tip that you'd give, this is another one that I get. I think we kind of already touched on it, and that's you've got to really be the driver of your own training. And the only way you can do that is by keeping a log of how you feel, when you feel good, when you feel bad, and what's associated with that. My brother is doing one of my programs right now, and one of the things we talk about is that when you have a great day, you can't just write down in your workout log, had a great workout. 2 years later, we don't really know why that happened, right? But if you write down, today I had a great day. I slept 8 hours. I drank 3/4 of a gallon of water. I made sure to have 3 servings of greens, 2 servings of fruit. I spent time meditating today for 10 minutes using my Headspace app. And I've been using better sleep habits so that I can reduce my serotonin levels, thus fall asleep and not be restless. So I think you've just got to constantly be this learning machine, be your own form of AI. We're the real intelligence now. And then also the last thing I would say is there's actually a quote from Ty Lopez. Actually, it's not from Ty, it's from another book, but I can't remember who it was. But they said to seek out a multitude of mentors. Right, so somebody you know is going to be a specialist in one thing, somebody's going to be a specialist in another. Go pick their brains, ask them questions, and then form what's best for you. So we have like 6 more minutes. If you have do we have the other mic potentially? If you guys have a question, please raise it.
We got one here.
I want to answer questions. I really want to do this. Yeah. Yeah, please. And then if you're next, just raise your hand, and these guys are so great.
So what's the guy who we left? So I think it's
And tell me your name, too. I want to know your name.
My name is Janice, and
Nice to
my
meet you.
question is, do you ever detox? Do you ever use a detox?
Yeah, good conversation. So I think there's a very big misconception about detoxing. People think you can just like do it once. As soon as you detox and you come out to this event and then you start touching that pole or you touch that seat or you touch someone's hands, toxins are going right back into your body. They're all around you. So the biggest thing I would say is yes, detoxes are great. I do them, but it's really just a focus on constantly getting the right foods in your body to continue cleaning out your system. That's a huge misconception. Like every time you touch a bleach container or every time you touch a soap or you touch, again, anything out here, you're absorbing those oils and those things into your body. So constantly do it. A lot of times it's suggested to do maybe like a 3-day cleanse or a 7-day cleanse and then repeat that, every couple months, every few months. But you want to have foods that are going to help you to stay in that cleaner state. Probiotics are fantastic. Yeah, and whoever's next, please raise your hands because I'm going to use all these 5 minutes. What's your name?
Carla,
Nice to meet you.
thank you. Do you believe in intermittent fasting?
Yeah, 100%. Experiment with all of it. Some people are going to say, oh, intermittent fasting doesn't work. Some people are going to say, oh, you should. There's so many different types. So there's like a dry fast. You don't consume anything. The type of fast that I prefer are like liquid only fast. So you'll have like coffee, or I love to have like a mineral beverage. So coffee, tea, and then a mineral beverage. If you message me after this, I'll share that recipe. It's like turmeric, Himalayan sea salt or pink salt, like lime juice, a few other things that give your body minerals, so therefore you don't crave those foods. Everything from 12-hour, 16-hour, 18-hour, 24-hour, I've kind of played around with them all. What's gonna work for you? And you'll only know by running the experiment, but you gotta make sure you get the right information so you keep yourself healthy. A lot of times when it comes to fast, I suggest to start like with a smaller one, like, all right, you're sleeping, so if you sleep 6 to 8 hours, that's a part of your fast. Okay, so then let's aim for like 12 to 14. Okay, I do that okay for a couple times. 14 to 16. Okay, that was kind of cool. 16 to 18. And see what that sweet spot is for you. I would recommend if you could in the morning while you're fasted, just get some type of movement in, whether it's resistance